Hello my friends and welcome to Philos-IFFY, where I talk about random things that I like. And you know what's really cool right now? XCOM2. So why is it so good? Short answer, aliens, guns, boom. That's it. End of video. I'm good enough. Nah, but seriously. That's a good enough answer on its own, but there's way more. Here's a good answer. XCOM is great because of Pavlovian conditioning. Well, not just Pavlovian conditioning, but conditioning in general. By now you might have heard of Pavlov's dog. It was an experiment where Pavlov would ring a bell every time he gave his dog food. So this doggy gets a piece of food, here's a bell, gets another piece of food, here's the bell again. He did this for such a long time that the dog began to associate the ringing of the bell with every time he got food. As a result, the dog wasn't just disappointed when he didn't hear the bell when he got the food, but the bell itself could actually cause the dog to get hungry, cause him to feel excitement. The idea and the excitement of getting food were linked in the dog's mind to the bell. But what does that have to do with XCOM 2? Because certainly there aren't a lot of rewards like the bell or food in XCOM. In fact, there's pretty much just mostly death, and then more death, and then occasionally the panic death combo. Well, here's where it gets interesting. Springboarding off of Pavlov's experiment, many other conditioning experiments were designed after that, using a bunch of different combinations of rewards and punishments and frequencies, and they found that not all conditioning is created equal. Experiments with Pavlov's conditioning resulted in eventual disinterest in the bell by the dog. The more the bell rang without food, the sooner the conditioning would disappear. Always ring the bell with the food, and eventually the dog loses interest and the conditioning disappears too. Press a button, and once every 3 times you press the button, food gets dispensed. Well, the conditioning happens, but it takes a lot longer. Hook some mice pleasure centers up to the feel good button in their cage, and these mice will go to town on that button and press it over and over again. But then after a while they stop. They lose interest, or they just completely stop pressing the button altogether. One kind of pattern, however, has been shown to stop this eventual fading of conditioning, and that pattern is no pattern at all. Randomness. Purely random benefits provide the best conditioned behavior. Not knowing when or what the result will be, whether good or bad, keeps the excitement, the engagement, the internal sense of reward constant and persistent. XCOM is doing exactly this, conditioning you to return to each mission, to move on even after a major failure. And it does this by creating an expectation that each time you come into a mission, there is an optimal strategy, a best way to solve that mission. It takes this turn-based strategy game and turns it almost into a puzzle game. But they wrinkle this expectation immediately with a bunch of different chances. Pass-failed chances, panic-don't panic chances, chance for promotion, or a chance to not get promotion, chance to steal an enemy body or not steal an enemy body for dissection later. All these mixing together chances creates in the player's mind a sense of randomness, even though there's no randomness actually there. No matter how brutal it becomes, that sense of randomness maintains the conditioning that has been built into us, the excitement and the engagement, to return us to the mission, to not rage quit. But hold on, this is Philos-IFFY, not a psychiatry lecture. So whoopee, random is fun, so what? What does this have to do with any of the bigger questions of humanity? What if I told you that XCOM deals in teaching you to engage a higher order of your own human nature? Much of modern psychology is based on Freud. Whether supporting him or disagreeing with him, Sigmund had his hand in almost everything. Freud depicted 3 parts in the mind: the id, the ego, and the superego. That's your true self, how you see yourself, and how you perceive the way society perceives you, or how you want society to perceive you. But to a philosopher, these three distinctions are not too drastically new. Plato, way back when, defined three parts to the human soul, being that soul and mind in Greek society at the time weren't really distinct things. The first, epithemia, which are your desires, your appetites, things like food and sex and money, and pretty much every emotion you have in your body. Base wants that we humans share with pretty much all animals and beasts. The third part is logos. That's your mind, your reason, your logic. That's the part of you that pursues wisdom, pursues the good. But hey, Socrates, why'd you skip number 2? You don't know math? Well, that's true. I don't know math. But I skipped number 2 for a reason, because the second is what's most important to XCOM2. The second is thumos, or spirit. That's the part of us that seeks betterment, that seeks recognition for our good qualities and what we do better than others. Thumos will pursue these things with a relentless, almost angry zeal. But most importantly, this is the part of you that loves freedom. It refuses to be mastered, not by others, not by society, and not even by your own mind or your own desires. And certainly not by alien scum. In XCOM, when you make a mistake, it creates cascading failure. It will snowball into chaos. But when you claw out an accomplishment, it gives you a small reward. Some experience, some materials, some alien corpse for your Logos eggheads to dissect in the lab. And a promotion. Some recognition for your skill as a commander. XCOM uses a feeling of randomness to manipulate your appetites, your desires, during missions so that you don't give up on those appetites. And it cultivates your thumos with each little victory, slowly pushing you further toward that ultimate thumatic goal of pure freedom from the oppressive alien overlords. And that is what makes XCOM 2 really cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you had fun watching me, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you at the next discussion. Bye-bye.